Today's topic, very exciting. How do we identify our target market? But even more importantly, how do we market in this target market? For those who are joining us for the very first time, this is a continuation of a session we did about a week ago. So we actually covered an area called market segmentation for different pricing implementation. And today we are doing part 2. These topics were very close. They were cousins. They were build up. So today we are doing part 2, identifying one's target market and how to market them. So I'll focus more on number 2. However, I will have to give you as a very brief recap of the market segmentation, and then we see how do we zero in to that particular segment, or what we call the target market. We have 4 G magnets. G because they start with the letter G. So we have geographic markets, then we have gender, and then number 3 we have what I call generational, and number 4 we have the group dynamics. So today I'll focus on how do you target, how do you market in these segments. How do you first identify your market targets, and how do you market them? 3 points. Number 1, define the problem that you want to solve. Add real value to people. Your business will not be sustained unless you add real value to people. Number 2, there are 3 simple steps how to identify your target market. Because if you're not solving people's problems, eventually they will leave you. Identify your customer characteristics, and this is what I'll engage you today. I will focus on that today. And the question we'll be asking ourselves is where they are, geography, gender, are they male or female, what generation, what age, group dynamics. We are looking at income. We are looking at religion and beliefs and convictions, level of education. We are also looking at race and ethnicity. I'm going to deal with that shortly. And number 3, we are looking at who buys and why. Define your market segment. And the real question is this: who buys and why do they buy? Who buys your product and why do they buy? In other words, you have to tell us, this person who is buying, who has the greatest need for your product or service? What is their need? What makes them come to you? Number 2, who has the ability to pay for your product or service? Number 3, who buys the largest quantity on a regular basis? Number 4, where is your customer located? Let me see. Please, media team, can you unmute Mary Mwangi? Mary Mwangi, motor vehicle spare parts. Mary Mwangi. I want to get 2 or 3 people. Let me start with Mary. Mary, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Daktari.
Good. I want to ask you some 4 questions. Who has the greatest need for your product or service?
In terms of gender?
No, not in terms of gender. Okay, say it. Okay, fine. In terms of gender?
Men.
It's men, yeah?
Yes.
But what I wanted to understand about your spare parts, is it the customer walk in, walk out? Are you selling to mechanics? Are you selling to individuals? Who buys the most? Is it somebody who is a mechanic, or is it the owner of the car?
The mechanics.
Exactly. So what I was looking for there is mechanics. Now, who has the ability to pay for your products? Are you selling brand new spare parts?
No, original ex-Japan.
Oh, got you. So who is able to pay? These are car owners, through the garages.
Yes.
Who buys the largest quantity on a regular basis?
The garages.
Exactly. Now it's no longer, and the reason I'm doing this with you is just to bring one point home. It's not a question of car owners. So when people hear it's about motor vehicle spare parts, immediately we think about car owners. But literally your main customer here is the mechanic.
Yes.
Now, where is your customer located? Geography.
Mostly they are within Kiambu County.
They are within Kiambu County.
Yes.
Fantastic. The heart of the matter is, how do we market to our segments or our target market? And I want us to look at those 4 markets now, critically, those 4 market segments, and how do we get in there? The first one is geographic. Now, I'm going to use Kenya as an example, but I realize we have a couple of people who are not from Kenya. You have to ask yourself, what market size are you targeting? Now, talk to me, guys. As many as you can. Are you targeting a city? Are you targeting a country, a region, or a global market? Like what I'm doing personally, I'm targeting a global market. And actually, tomorrow I'll be with Stanbic Bank, Southern Sudan. I'm doing the strategic plan. Last week I was with KCB and Total Uganda. I'm actually targeting a global market. Now I'm asking you right now, what are you targeting? Is it the city of Nairobi? Is it the country of Kenya? Is it the continent of Africa? Do you eventually want to do like Laitia and sell in the Pacific and Asian? What is your target market? Joseph Kimani is East Africa. Diana, the country of Uganda. What are the geographic dynamics of your target market? Now, your primary target market is Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were to be asked this question, I think the reality is that their first language is Italian.
Yes, it is.
And they're interested in learning English.
Yes, they are.
Wow, wow. And question number 3,
Mm.
do you have the capacity for your target market to grow? I think you do, because you can teach online. The second category is gender. Thank you so much, Joshua Twabui. One of the questions you need to answer about your target market, what gender are you targeting? That needs to be clear. Now, the second question I'm asking, what are the consumer behavior for your target market? Like I had people saying, women are emotional buyers, women are repeat customers. I had people saying women tend to bargain more, women are more impulsive. This is what I'm calling the consumer behavior. Now, when we are talking about women, I need you to go and narrow it down and think, am I talking about moms? Am I talking about single ladies? Am I talking about single moms? So I think I'll mention a few things that you guys said about women. Number 1, women buy what they see. What does that mean to us? If you want women to buy, they have to see. And that's why a lot of people who sell things like clothes, they put them along a busy street, because women are very visual. If they can't see it, they won't buy it. They make decisions on what they see, and not just see how you package it. Does it look appealing? Number 2, women prefer varieties. Don't stock one item for ladies. Stock many items. Even if you're doing something like Jenny Mwihaki, who is teaching English, make sure, Jenny, when you're coming up with your brochure, you come up with different products. You can say you have English for English speakers, English for non-English speakers, English for Italian speakers, English for children, English for teenagers, English for professionals, English for, women don't like being given only one option. They are put off by that. They like knowing their variety. Be ready for numerous questions. Women will never close a deal on first sight. They have to probe, in-depth analysis. If you're not willing to answer questions, you will not close a sale with a woman. For those of you who are in things like insurance, like Nancy Kirwa, you will have to answer a lot of questions. Jenny Mwihaki knows that. I mean, what's her name? Jennifer Mudeu. Women will come and check the school, check where the kids will sleep in nursery school, what is the food being given. They will go to details. A man may not even remember to ask about transport. Women are keen to details. Don't try to summarize. They want to know the real information. They know the devil is in the details. Now, a lot of men, number one, make sure if you're selling anything to a man, make sure you know what you're selling. Make sure you know what you're talking about. The moment a man detects you are second guessing, you are an amateur, you are new in that thing, you are done. Especially when you're in consultancy. Like the people printing and publishing, like Jerome, Jenny Muhaku this is consultancy, teaching English. People like Karen or Ronnie who are in branding, you have to be extra careful when you're doing the man. Joseph Kimani, you're a professional debt collector. Most men want to ask you figures. Number two, answer the questions you are asked. Don't answer more than you are asked when you're dealing with men. Men tend to focus on one piece at a time. If men come to your shop and they're buying clothes, and for me, if I go to the shop and I'm looking for a sweater, it doesn't matter what else is in the shop, I will not pick. I will go specifically pick that sweater and leave the shop. If I'm going to the supermarket to buy bread, I'll pick bread and I am done. When I go with Mercy to the supermarket, I have to go praying in tongues for God to help her to finish, because she doesn't know when to finish. We agree with Mercy, we are picking bread. She ends up picking 2 trolleys, and I don't know why. One bread requires 2 trolleys. So with men, answer the question you've been asked. Number 3, acknowledge the buyer power. Men want to be recognized. They want their ego to be massaged. Now, whenever you're dealing with men, don't illustrate the seller power. Do that with a woman. You impress a woman. But for a man, it is the buyer, the customer. The customer wants to feel God. The customer wants to feel king. The customer wants to feel recognized and appreciated. The women, you drill them by showing them that you know what you're selling. When you are focusing on men, show the man that he is important, that he's topped by your shop, by your business. He had many options, Karen, for branding, but he chose you. Bernadette, baby accessories. He had many options, but he chose you. Jane Moher. This man believes he had many options, not just Uber, but he chose your Uber car. That's how men operate. Lucy Muruka. Don't talk too much about the shoe. If you want to close a lot of sales with men, focus on the man. Comment about a shoe, the shoe he's wearing. It's nice, it's good. Unfortunately, most people do the opposite. You speak against his watch, his shoe, because you're selling shoes. You lose the sale. You want to impress a man, show him he knows how to select a shoe, so that he can believe the type of a shoe he's looking for is in your shop. And finally, men make decisions quietly. So when he's not asking you questions, please stop giving information. If you keep talking to a man and maybe he's trying to make his decision, you clutter his head, you cloud his imagination, his thinking, and his decision-making process.